In this video, I'm going to show you how to attach your zippers onto your quilt for loading onto the frame. I have already marked the center spot on both the top and the bottom of my quilt back. On our zippers say backing fabric, bottom left side, backing material, wrong side up, and backing fabric, top left side, backing material, wrong side up. I'm going to start with my bottom zipper. Get this one out of the way. Untie the knot in my zipper. And I'm going to find the center mark on my zipper. And here it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the center notch that I marked on the quilt, and we're going to lay it on the zipper. Myself turned around. Let's stay right there. Okay, I'm going to mark it, put the notch right on that mark, and I want the backing material with the wrong side up, so the pretty side is going to be down and the non-pretty side is facing me, and I want the raw edge of the fabric touching the back of the teeth. Now, since I am basting these at home on my sewing machine, I'm going to pull all my pins over here. And I'm doing this at home so you can see all my mess and all my threads I have laying around. Okay, so since I'm doing this on my sewing machine, not like we did in class with the safety pins, I'm going to show you how I pin the backing material onto the zipper, and then I'm going to show you how I stitch the backing material onto the zipper using a basting stitch on my home sewing machine. Now, I am not going to bore you and make you watch me pin this entire quilt backing. I'm going to stop right here and show you that I will pin it all the way down to this end, and then if I want, I can actually come back and pin it all the way down to this end. As I try and get my fingers to work, pin it all the way down to this end. So at this point, I'm going to stop the tape. I'm going to finish pinning the back onto the zipper, and then I will restart when it's time to sew. So now you start at the center, pin to one end, and then pin to the other. But I'm going to show you a secret also. Alright, so here we are at the sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how I actually stitch, basting stitch, that would help, how I'm going to baste the zipper right onto the quilt. I do use my 1/4 inch foot, and I put the 1/4 inch, the edge of the 1/4 inch foot, right against the back of the teeth. Now I'm going to go ahead and start stitching. And I actually baste right over the top of my pins. I use the glass-headed pins, which are a real thin pin. The needle just jumps right over them, but you can certainly pull the pins as you go if you want. Now, as I'm working along, you will notice that I'm coming to my center notch, and that is where I stopped pinning. I hate to take forever to pin, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ease the fabric right onto the back of that zipper. The most important part of this whole process is making sure that center notch lands right on the center of that zipper, that mark on the center of your zipper. Once you've done that, the rest of it just slides right on. Done. Now I'm going to pull the pins, and Morgan's going to stop the tape for a moment, and we'll come back and show you how to put the next zipper onto this quilt back. Here we are back again. I have my next zipper. This one says backing fabric, top left side, backing material wrong side up. So this is the zipper that will go onto the take-up rail. So what I'm going to do, much like the other one, I'm going to find the center of our zipper. Here it is. And I'm going to align it with the center of the quilt back. I'm going to, just like before, pin that in place. And just like before, going to make sure that I am looking at the wrong side of the material. There again, the raw edge of the back will be touching the back of the teeth. That is the trick to making sure your zippers go on right every time. You always want to center, and you always want the raw edge of the fabric against the back edge of the teeth. When you are done, as you look at your quilt back, to the left on the top and the bottom, you should have your finished edge of your zipper, and it should have 108. That is how long that zipper is. So this should always be to the left-hand side of your quilt. Now we are going to baste the quilt back, the top edge, to the top zipper. You can see this really doesn't take very long to do, and it sure saves a whole lot of time that we would otherwise spend pinning our quilt onto the leaders. You'll hear my machine beep. It's telling me I'm almost out of bobbin thread. So now I have my quilt backing completely loaded onto the zippers. Bottom left side to the bottom left of your quilt, top left side to the top left of your quilt. This is especially important if you have a directional back. In our case, we have this wowza bright pink, but if you have a directional print or if you have pieced your back, do really check that you make sure you get these on the proper ends of your quilt.